Started. There we go. So we are officially in class time now. Now, this is a jam-packed class. And if some of y'all have never been to one of my classes, we go ahead and give you so much information, and then we'll follow up after. You also get the slide deck. It's 54 pages, so it's going to be really intense. But the great thing is we're here to answer any questions you may have. Plus, we want to get your feedback as well because this class I think is so valuable of given what's going on, compensation, the how to, the questions. So again, we're so glad y'all are here today. We've got it on recording. You're going to get this. For those that are new that do not know me, I am Glenda. I have lived in Arlington all of my life. I have been a mortgage advisor since 2007. I personally am a single producer, have helped over 500 families. But I believe the biggest part of any lender should be your partner and not just a vendor. So, what we've done is built classes for you to help guide you and help navigate you to grow your business. So, if you take one piece of information out a day to incorporate tomorrow, let us know, tag us, get us involved because we really want to see you guys thrive in this crazy world of economy that we're going in. But we also want to see how we can better serve you. If it's the lending side, if it's growth, if it's mindset, if you need strategies and content, like Adrian said, we're here for you no matter what. But we're so glad y'all are here. We're going to go ahead and get started. The reason we do these kind of workshops, especially for this one specifically, is because we just don't really know what's going on. There's a lot of people out that still have uncertainty in this time frame. And as we can see, this growth plan that we're working on, it's the how and the what. And I think the more now that school's getting back in session and we can grow and get back into the office, but even pivot. I'm going to use that word a lot today because I think it's really intangible, that we pivot on our job, our learning, our growth. But I'm so glad y'all are here to controllables. As we can see right there, there's absolutely uncontrollables that we can do, from the fiercest one, and how we can move forward with that is we just keep it going. We keep our mindset there and we keep focusing on what's in front of us. As the Greek philosopher said 2,000 years ago, it's not about what happened to you, but how you react to it matters. So, how do we turn our mindset back into the controllables and how to move forward with it? How many of y'all in today think that this shift honestly could be the best change for a professional real estate agent? Are y'all already seeing a big shift of, yes, there is a lot of agents getting out of the business, but I'm curious to see with all this NAR stuff that's going on, are you personally seeing a shift in questions and conversations? And I always like to bring this up for conversation, so chat is also open as well. So if y'all have any questions, y'all can throw it in there or also come off mute at any time. No questions. All right, I love this. Well, we're going to keep it going here. Of course, we're moving into a hiring basis. Before NAR settlement, of course, the listing agents were hired to sell a home, but shifting into the hire basis now says, how do we formulate our offers to be better prepared for the next move? So transitioning your brain into a hiring mindset, it really enhances the loyalty and the commitment for that customer relationship, and it builds the value. If we walk in there and now have everything set ready to go like a doctor's office, we now can understand the what and the how. Of course, in the past, we really didn't have to do anything but say, hey, do y'all want to help me buy or sell a home? How many times have y'all seen those posts online? Do you want me to help me buy or sell a home? Do y'all feel now that it's more of a job interview, of a presentation that you have to walk in? You have to have a marketing plan, a photography plan. Sometimes you have to have your drone footage depending on that property. So do y'all feel now more than ever you have to have a 1, 2, 3 standard operating procedure to go in and have a conversation with the client? So how do you think that you would answer something like this? What's your fee? How should I hire you? What if a seller doesn't offer compensation? Why should I just not work with the listing agent? Yes, Jen, if you're back on, I absolutely know that. It was insane. That's literally never happened to me, and I'll be mortified as well. But the question is how do we? Have y'all got that number three question yet? If a seller doesn't offer compensation, how are you moving forward with it? And y'all can come off mute. You can throw it in chat. Yeah, Melissa says she hasn't got it yet, but she expects to hear it soon, for sure. All right, so let me ask y'all a really big, valid question. When presenting these services, do you think price or value add more? Right? Because in the last class I did with this, it was very interesting. It was like a 50-50 split. But do you think it's more value or the price when you're going in to present this offer? And
Probably
Adrian,
always
you
goes.
can chime in too if you're off mute for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, probably going in, it always starts as price, and you got to find a way to switch it towards value, right? Value proposition is always going to win over price, and it's you got to show your value.
Yeah. Absolutely. And here's what's kind of crazy. In a recent poll, according to the Wave Group, 25% of buyers thought their agent spent 10 or fewer hours on their home purchase. I think that's a really interesting fact because when you talk to buyers, and we talk to a lot of them, that's the very first question I have is tell me about your real estate agent. I may do a lot of business with that real estate agent, but I want to get their mindset. And y'all, the mindset today is still y'all open doors and we close loans. And we have to change that trajectory to say, we are actually working more than 15, 20 hours because there are still a lot of part time agents out there. 46% of the buyers thought their agent spent less than 15 hours. So when you're talking about a 40, 50, 69% of 100%, so over almost 70% of buyers think that we work less than 15 hours on one home sale, then how do we change that trajectory? What are we doing? Are we actively having those conversations? Are we educating? Are we communicating? Are we bringing that value? Are we honestly staying in front of them at all times? And that's a big thing that we want to do. So today we want to really kind of get into what does it take to get hired? Is it experience? Is it results? Is it the trust? This means how now we present ourselves and the value that we bring will be more critical than any other conversation you ever have, right? Because if we bring the experience, the trust, the results, and the how, and that value, I have gotten more clients recently because I overgive them value and I slam them with so much content and so much education. They're like, why would I not use you? So I
Yeah,
think
and
that's where it's a really great thing that Adrian's got. We've got like there's so much information out there. They now say it takes 7 to 15 touch points before someone even commits to a conversation. 7 to 15, and that is insane to think. 7 to 15 touches. So that's text, video, message. We're going to follow up with an email. We're going to send them a value add. We're going to send them a proposition. We're going to send them a great video of how I helped this last client. So if we have that marketing plan as soon as that lead comes in, I'm going to call, text, video, email within the first 24 hours. That is exactly, again, what doctor's offices do. So if we think of the mindset of a doctor's office, that's going to allow us to move into it. Now, with all things being equal, the one that demonstrates the value and explains the new rules is absolutely winning in this. The ones that are still unsure and don't have that really the playing field and like how you communicate it, Those are the ones that are still not sure if they're going to be in this industry in the next 6 months. So let's flip the mindset on that. As if we talk to every client to tell them the what and the how of these NAR rules, then we're going to start winning on every single one that we need to get hired on. So there's really two important questions to look on to get clear. Who are the people you're trying to serve? And I think that's really kind of cliche because it's kind of like content and marketing in our strategies. We always say, who is your target niche? Who is your avatar? Crazy enough, by now, if you've been in this industry more than 3 years, you should 100% know the avatar you're speaking to. Go back and look at your clients that you've ever closed. If you close a lot, go look at the last 2 months. Figure out who your leads are, where are they coming from, are they moms, dads, families? And then what is the challenge, problems, issues that you help them overcome? Because if we can get clear on who we serve and our challenges, our problems, and our issues, that becomes the pendulum swing to make us the expert and not just a real estate agent. And we now want to be the expert in this field for sure. So, propositions and value props. Do y'all have one? And I always love this question. Do you have a value proposition that you talk to every single client? Like when I'm in lending and I'm talking to them, I am the one that helps create that strategy to make them get into a home with less to no money down because I want to make them affordable. Most of them are families. They drink wine. We talk about football. We're going out to Friday Night Lights. We love Mexican food. And a lot of my clients, we have that conversation from day one. So understand who your client is. What are their pain points? Ask them, what is stopping them from buying in today's market? I had a first time home buyer, great scenario that 2 weeks ago, she put an offer in and it was in Ellis County. She just wasn't sure about it, but she went in 50,000 under. Well, her parents told her to go 50,000 under. So then the conversation was, I need to talk to my mom and dad to effectively do this. Me and the agent are going back and forth and having these conversations. So then the next day, when we had an entire conversation with mom and dad and sister and aunt and uncle, literally everybody was on this. Well, this is how we used to do it. Well, used to doing it 6 months ago, 2 years ago, is completely different how we do it now. But her pain point is the prices are so overpriced. I need to go in lower to get the monthly payment lower. So we caveated that and pain pointed to say, hey, if you buy a home with this and this price point, but it's a little bit newer, your insurance will be cheaper versus buying an older home that has a higher insurance at a higher price point and your payment's going to be higher. So we now derive every single pain point and we deliver a solution. How can we help serve the client on their pain point? A big pain point right now is not how to get the offer accepted. It's honestly how to sell my home, right? With 6 months of inventory, the listing agents that I have talked to that we've gone under contract with, I'm like, why did you accept our offer? We have that crazy conversation. Why did you accept our offer? It was, most of them are going under asking, but y'all, it's all the way down to the paint. Like the paint and the landscape matter right now. They accepted our offer. The buyer took the offer because it was turnkey ready. So if a seller has 6 months of inventory, what are we doing to stand out? If there's 6 homes and they're all priced the same, but this one's got fresh coat of paint and the landscape, guess which one is going quicker? The one that's turnkey ready, because guess what? School's about to get in. So on both sides, think about the pain point and the solution to their pain point, and that's absolutely what's going to drive them. So according to NAR survey, the benefits of a buyer value of bringing the process, we now can see this age grid. And it's really crazy. And this is why I like to send this out, because it says to all buyers ages 24 to 76. It talks about understanding the process, the buyer's area, provided that lender, negotiated a better price, shorten the buyers. So we have all of these lists that NAR has done, but it makes sense in our value proposition if we can put these exhibits in there and say, hey, here's how we can help value you and how we can better serve you. So there are really four things that I exchange for money. And here's the big thing. When we talk about exchanging money, we make money or we save money. We save time, we reduce the risk, and we elevate our status. So think about that mindset. Because if we can elevate our status and figure out which value is one of these four, then that changes the mindset and how you can have that conversation. So when we figure out one, two, three, and four for our value propositions, this is how we should integrate it to our clients. So, does every buyer respond equally? Absolutely not. But the key to the value proposition is who you serve, right? Because our value proposition should change if it's a 60-year-old versus a 22-year-old. One, we're having a conversation probably in person over the phone. And the next one for the 24-year-old, y'all, we're having text messages and video conferences because that's how they communicate. So when we know our proposition to our specific situation, and it's really dynamic now, every single client I talk to, we email, and instead of sending a text message, I video message them. So now they're getting the clarity and tone because tonality is really hard right now. There's a lot of stuff going on with the tonality and how to speak that now if I can send an email, just say, hey, I sent you an email. I want to go over point 1, 2, and 3. Or if it's a little long, I'll do a Loom video or a Bomb video. I'm in now a Loomville, so I can send a Loom video because it AIs and it like does my transcripts for me. But if it's a longer video, I'll do it on Loom and then I'll send it to them. And that was a perfect situation for the millennial that was buying the home that was 25 with their parents or aunts and uncles, literally aunts and uncles, crazy. I literally sent them a video and said, hey, share this with your family. And they came back and said, oh my gosh, I didn't realize the market had changed that much because that's not their experience. That's not what they're expert in. So for first-time home buyers, maybe you start having an exclusive access to educational information, financial planning, budgeting resources. First-time home buyers navigating the complexity of doing a home purchase. For me, I absolutely do that. Every single first-time home buyer gets a budgeting resource tip now. And they get a financial planner along with it. So I send my financial planner and my budgeting resource. So now what they're getting into, we're planning the next loan 3 to 5 years, 10 years down the road. I'm setting them up for success because a lot of people want an $1,800 house payment in a $400,000 home, but now that $400,000 home is a $4,000 house payment. So we need to make sure, are they budgeting what they need to get prepared to make that home buyer, that experience. So for your investors, a simple value statement could be, I specialize in identifying high return investment properties, providing comprehensive market analysis to help make informed decisions. Because now you're speaking in their terms. Investors don't care about the rate. They care about the bottom line. What is their cash to close? How much they bringing and what is their return on investment? They are very big on that. But if you speak their language and have that value statement, they're going to understand, hey, I'm a good fit for her, then I can have that conversation. For veterans, I'm a well-versed VA specialist that benefits helping military families secure favorable financing options, explaining the process to hesitant listing agents. 100%. We are at our company 48% VA closings because we have the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 lender across the country. Our NXC branch was started by a Marine, so we are very indebted into our VAs here. We have our own specific military lending division that we can get underwriting tips at all times. So that is one value proposition that we help so many veterans here that we want to make sure we have this value proposition. And this is my value proposition to my veterans. So relocation clients, I provide comprehensive relo services, neighborhood tours, information on amenities, local moving logistics, temporary housing, and setting and services because their mindset is a lot different. So once we know the mindset, get it all down. Every single client, move up, move down, divorce clients. Every person you help should have an individual value statement and y'all practice it. Get in front of the mirror and practice it so it's a non-negotiable and you can just start spitting it out right and left. That's what's really going to start changing it. So, pro tip on that as well as use AI. I'm very big on AI and everybody knows that. The tips on this are your persona, your context, your goal, and your format. So, who are you? Your case scenario, what do you want to do, and what's your output? In this logistics, I'm a real estate agent creating a value proposition for first-time homebuyers involving crafting a clear, compelling statement that highlights and uniques benefits, solutions, and offers to their needs and concerns. Can you give me 3 pain points corresponding with value propositions to overcome? So now ChatGPT has now become, or AI has become so intense. Once you offer all of those, and now becomes the easier. Write this in a bullet form in the style of they want Phil P. Jones, author of exactly what to say. They're giving a book of how to direct it, so the tone is how you speak to it. And so the output is really cool. So we'll just go over one of these. This is the complexity of buying a home. Pain point, first-time home buyers often feels lost, overwhelmed by the pay point. There's a lot of legal jargon. There is number of steps. Of course there is. The value proposition could be, what if I told you that buying your first home doesn't have to feel like climbing Mount Everest? Imagine if first someone by your side who's climbed the mountains hundreds of times. I'll be your guide, making it clear and simple so you feel confident and control from start to finish. So, how does that sound? A little bit more intense to be able to give that kind of a value solution. I think that's a really good output as well. So ChatGPT #2 volume, ABC Real Estate Team, we simplify the home buying journey. First-time home buyer, ensuring we feel confident, in control every step of the way. With our expert guidance, we'll help secure the perfect home at the right price while connecting with the trusted lenders and understand your home financing options. We're not just here to find a house. We're helping you make a smart, secure investment with your future. Here at ABC Real Estate Team, we're experiencing a smooth, stressful, free, painless path to home ownership, knowing you've made the best decision. So we're taking our value proposition and expanding it. And the more you talk and the more you have that, the easier it is to have that conversation. So the great news for you is I did go ahead and book the next class. It's going to be online. This is ChatGPT. I'm going to send this out. So if you want to go ahead and get registered for it, because I have not shot it out yet, it's going to be the first Wednesday of September. We're going to go through ChatGPT and go through the solutions and really dive into it so we understand. Because it's changed even so much in the last 4 months. I'm going to start doing this class quarterly just so you're aware of all the updates and changes. So, of course, a bonus idea, and we're almost halfway there, y'all. Existing home buyers, we have an active buyers representing you with that buyer's broker agreement. So, one thing for existing buyers, call your existing buyers and say something like this. Hey, I hope you're doing well. Quickly touch base with you regarding some recent updates. Sure, of course, what's up? Great. As of August 17th, there's new rules. The buyers need to sign a buyer broker agreement before we can tour. So then they go into the what and the why. Buyer's going to say, hey, how does it affect us? Well, this means we're putting our work relationship in writing, right? I think when we identify of why we're putting our relationship in writing, but now it specifies your duties, your agreement, your compensation, and it's a straightforward document, but more importantly, ensures that you can successfully represent them on any interest without ambiguity. So that's a really good idea as well. How does that sound? I believe that it's a great step toward making that. Can we chat for a few minutes and sign this agreement? So it's a really big. So the benefits of that proposition statement and how you can intertwine that is the value statement is a powerful tool for potential clients that understand how you can help them. It builds the trust, saves the time, enhances connections, increases confidence, and it also differentiates you. We want to be that one plus that stands out that says, hey, we give that offer value. So people feel confident, right? If the process is right, the people get right. So remember the NAR survey that we had shared earlier on this? Understand the well process to important. Having a structured process creates that confidence of giving a guide to start to finish. So that's a good thing. Is this guide is going to be a really great generational of how to sell across the generations. Look, Adrian went in and he got out of his car and he's doing all kinds of stuff there. I love that. All right. So big thing is, have you ever really stayed at a Ritz-Carlton? Right? How many of y'all have stayed in a Ritz, a Waldorf, like all your high stuff? Okay. Well, they're renowned for that exceptional customer service, right? They are known for the leadership, that memorable creating that customer experience. But the journey map of the entire process is the what and the how. So, Adrian, would you say the Ritz is falls within the touch points, the emotions, the standards, the feedbacks, and how they train their own personnel?
Absolutely. On top of how they are perceived by their customers, right? So dressing professional, walking them to where they need to go, pointing with an open hand, right? So I worked for Stool Automotive Companies for almost 10 years. And those of you that know about automotive companies, they're a luxury dealership, customer service for life, and they mimic everything based off of the Ritz Carlton, right? And making sure that they're really trying to provide a high level of customer service, which is where I get my customer service from. So, yeah, but yeah, I would agree with you.
And I love that so much. And so the one thing I would action y'all today is take that Ritz Carlton, map out your own client journey. Because again, if we have everything in mapped out feedback form, that's going to be able to allow us. And here's a quick framework to consider a show, a flow, and a demo. So who goes here? The above and beyond. Never tell your clients about them. Why do we undersell ourselves? Here's a show, flow, and demo to look at that. You have your pre-list, your listing and marketing, your under contract, and your closing. So when we think about, let's just do, you're under contract. We're connecting with titles and attorneys, inspection, appraisals, negotiations, paying attention to the contingency dates, review the title, mortgage commitment, working on specialty documents, and then you plan to move. So when you have this all mapped out, I have some agents that have taken this and literally like they click buttons on Google Sheets now so they can go through the process and see every single one so they're never missing a step. And then when you do it so many times, it becomes that rinse and repeat model, just like the Ritz Carlton does. So the complexity of the how, if you don't have a roadmap, we can give you this as well. And we'll go ahead and send it out. We just need to make sure we get your logo and all of that stuff. So let me know, just text me if y'all want to do that. But it's a roadmap that every single one of my clients gets on when they're in the process. And it's really cool because it's the buyer presentation, show the properties, write the offer, negotiations, accepted, inspections, contingency, appraisal, underwriting, loan, title, assumable, any of those, final walkthrough and closing. If you show this up front to a client to say, hey, you just don't go under client and close a home in 30 days, there's so much you have to do. Well, let's take that 17 days and move it to a 30-day close, right? Not to say we're not closing our loans in 17 days because we're closing them in 11 and 12, but when someone start to finishes sees this, their eyes are more open and they're now more understanding and forgivable if something does mishap on that as well. So I'm not sure, of course, if this is for you, but I also have a home buyer's guide, and there's going to be a QR code that we have built out for y'all as well. Like I said, this presentation is jam-packed with stuff for y'all. It's a really cool buyer's guide. It talks about the what and the how. I'm going to put the QR code up on there so you can see it and you can go ahead and get it. In that buyer's guide, it's agency overview, key buyer agent responsibilities, understand buyer's compensation, dual agency, financing and closing costs. So we talk about all of that, the offer process, and a lot more. So it's a great guide for you. It is digital, so you can send it to every client. You can put your picture on there so it looks like y'all built this little baddie out. So it shows that you are the Ritz Carlton in today's game without having to do stuff. So we took some time, we did that. On the NAR process, on 3 things buyers should know. What's the process? Why should I hire you? How do I pay for it? There's one thing that we should look at on social media. There's a lot of agents that are doing a great job of what that means. Even though it started in August and it's already been in effect, we want to make sure everybody understands it. So if you get it posted on social media or on YouTube, you can effectively send that to every single client. Again, it's a visualization, it changes screens, and now they can see exactly what's going on post NAR settlement. Because there's a lot of people that don't really realize post NAR of what that means for you. So keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method, 100% of the time. Here's how I get compensated. My fee for my services are X. Here are 3 ways I get compensated. Would you like me to explain it further? The ones that have an ABC method that say, hey, and they were doing this before all NAR changes, and that really kind of set them apart as well because it said, hey, treat it like that Ritz Carlton. If you want me to do all of this, here's my compensation. I'm doing this for you. But they don't understand who's paying for that. And they've really never understand, but it's always been an opportunity to negotiate in the contract. So 3 ways they can get that paid: sellers, you the buyer, combination of seller and buyers. I can tell you right now, 100% of my contracts have sellers paying for the compensation right now. I have not seen one probably in the last 4 months that hasn't had the buyer cover it. So the sellers are still under that coverage that they're paying for it. But if we have more questions and it starts to become that buyer's market, I think that's when we may start seeing this kick up a lot more. When inventory drops, the rates come down, that frenzy comes out, demand is going to switch, the supply is going to switch. When those two change, and the rates do come down, I think this is where we're going to really see who's going to start paying for it. But if we start having those conversations now in front of it, it's going to allow us that open eye. So on this insurance example, it's a really big thing. Your doctor fee, your amount of insurance, and here's what you owe. So if you go to your doctors, right, the seller is your doctor and your insurance agent. If there's not, what's the balance that is left over? So I think if we explain it in the terms of a client and what their local needs are, right? Because clients have fans, friendly family, friends, co-workers, mom and dad, everybody's telling them that, oh, you don't pay for any of this. But they don't understand that the NAR changes, they could be. But what if we break it down, especially if we had a conversation and you had a client say, hey, I went to the doctor, great. Let's get that in the brain and now let's have it in the mindset of, hey, you just went to the doctor. Let me explain something to you because now they better understand it, right? So, what is your plan if the seller doesn't cover the compensation, right? Because that could be a really loaded question. Have y'all seen any on your side yet that the seller hasn't offered those compensations? No, not yet. I love that. 2 things that you can look at doing for that. Adrian, what you got?
Oh no, and we see so many different contracts, so we've seen it come through.
Yeah, and Latrice, did you see that on a new construction loan? Is that where it was, or was it on an existing? Because I know you do a ton of new construction.
Yeah, it was on existing.
Okay.
And just seeing it where, I mean, it's where they don't offer it initially, but then through negotiations, they'll make it seller paid. Sorry, I sound so stuffy. I'm sick. Um, but yes, I have seen it, and I have seen it a lot more now where buyers are either contributing, a portion or paying all of the buyer's agents. So I've seen it more because I do compliance for my broker as well. So I mean, not like more, but I've more than obviously before the NAR settlement. So yeah.
Okay. That's interesting to hear. So that is good feedback that it is starting to come into play. So we need to be on the right side of this to know how to handle that, that pain point when it comes. 2 good options that you can do: increase the purchase price to include it. And I may not know about it because it may already be in there, right? and then add the agent fee to the loan amount. You can do that. VA has changed theirs to where you can look at putting that in the loan too. So there are opportunities to change that. Um, this is what we call a commission grab strategy. It explains of course, the what and the how, financed and outside. So this one just says, hey, purchase price is 300, finance alone is 300, finance in the price is 309. What if it appraises low? So we've got the loan amount, we did the 6.99 interest rate. Of course, we always have APR, total cash to close. And as you can see, the variances between 300 and 309, crazy enough, it is $16 less, which is crazy because there's not a lot of difference in 300 and 309 as far as the down payment on the same rate. And that's a big kind of strategy that we look for clients. The one I had this morning, they wanted to put $80,000 down. I'm like, $80,000 is $400 a month. But what if you paid off your two cars for $60,000 that are $1,500, and now we're saving you your monthly investment? So we have to look at the overall picture to understand their uncertainty of the how. But we look at their debts and we're like, you can do 50,000. It doesn't change your payment that much. Pay off cars, pay off debts, and now you have one house payment. That's what also allows us to increase the purchase price of the house, because if we pay their debts off with the sale of their home, then now they have more liquid assets to use every single month. So, like I just said, which option impacts your mortgage payment the more? It's absolutely not getting a lower loan amount, as far as like a big capital. So in this purchase price, $675, they did a $25,000 price reduction, and then they did a seller paid MI, so 12.5 in the seller's credit. So they did a price reduction versus the same savings. So this 617,500. So we did the loan amount. What's crazy enough on this, when you look at the cash to close and the monthly payment difference, 675 versus 617. So lowering the price of the home or even doing the buy down, the payment is $300 difference on the seller paid buy down. So this is why almost every single one of them right now, we do a seller paid buy down, because that's going to get them through 1, 2, or now 3 years of the possibilities to get their payment down. Yes, we had that conversation on month 11 to say, hey, remember when we did the seller paid buy down? Are you prepared that the payment's going to go up that $100, that $200? So they understand what they're getting into for the future. Most of them are like, yes, we just did it last year. I appreciate you explaining it. But that also allows me to get in front of my clients again to say, hey, I can look at this to help you navigate it. Is it time to refinance? So I'm already setting them up on strike rates refinances with all the refinances that are projected to come pretty quickly. So are you really ready for the shift? Adrian, are you seeing in y'all's areas more refinances picking up?
A little bit. It's starting to pick up a little bit. We probably have anywhere from 3 to 5 a month.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have 2 right now that are already in the system going through of my 6 that I'm closing. So we
Yeah,
are
we
seeing
went from
those.
like 1 to 2 to now like 3 to 5. So there's
Yeah,
a little bit of a
so
pickup.
they're picking up quickly. And here's the
Mhm.
thing, I think people are finally realizing, one, these rates are starting to come down, but also the uncertainty of 1.2 trillion in debt. So we have to get that money paid off. Now, the more the feds do what they need to do and they bring down their fed's fund rate, as long as mortgage treasuries come down, remember they're not tied together. If they do bring them down twice over the next 6 months, which now is a clear definition, they probably will, that may still not bring the mortgage rates down until the jobs report. Did y'all see the jobs reports reflecting this week? Do y'all ever look at those? I send emails out on Mondays, and if you're not getting those, let me know. I send exactly what's going on, what's coming ahead. So the jobs report came out at 114,000, but what they course corrected over the last 90 days to 2 years was about 600,000 jobs that were not correctly allocated. And you can probably hear that in your own clients, right? When I talk to a client, now every probably 2%, they're getting laid off, they're hearing of layoffs, they're now trying to figure out how to refinance in front of it to get more money in their pocket to save money. So, are y'all seeing layoffs happening, car dealerships cutting? Like, look at everything that's going on. And if you're saying, hey, people are losing their jobs, the jobs reports will work itself out. When that is correctly allocated and we see the true number, that's when the rates will come down. It's not the Fed's fund rate. So I got on a squirrel on tangent for that. But of course, in closing here, are you really ready for the shift? Do we have our value statement? Do we have our defined documents and process? Do we have simple answers to the new rules? Because that's going to be a really big mindset. Review that we talked about, the new reality, how to get buyers hired, what buyers really want to hear from you, how to explain the new rules, how do we showcase our value. Let me ask you, was this helpful today? Did we become that lighthouse for the middle of that transition to say, oh, I want to be the lighthouse. I want to be the one that says, I can help you and give you that next statement. We're going to let y'all come off mute real quick and go ahead and see what kind of feedback we may have as well. Because we do have about probably about 10 minutes. Absolutely. You don't have to get on video, but if y'all have questions, Adrian are here. What's one big aha that you were taking away from today? Absolutely. Patrice.
I'll speak. Yeah. So guys, remember your value proposition, right? Even when I first came on to introduce myself, for some of you that I think I have a couple of you guys on social media, and some of you guys are brand new. But what was my value proposition when I talked to you guys? That I'm always available for you guys on the weekends and in the evenings. That you're working, I'm working as well, right? Because that's a part of that customer service and that communication standpoint. The last thing you want is to be able to have to call your rep and they don't answer, or call your escrow officer and they don't answer. That's where I step in to be that binding for you guys, right? And she was talking about the buyer's guides. I know that's a digital format. I don't know if y'all knew about this, but inside of Ignite RE, we do have our marketing suite where you can go and order your flyers, your door hangers, your brochures, your guides. You can upload your design and pay for it through the system, and you're going to save about 50 to 75% on your marketing budget compared to wherever else you're going to use it. What I mean by that is, if you had to order flyers before for your open houses or broker opens, you're going to spend about $1.50 in color, front and back. Through our system, front and back, you're going to spend about 30 cents. Okay. We even have our own farming tool to help you market those listings to the renters in your particular area at a particular assessed value. Jumbo postcard 6x9 with postage, you're looking at about anywhere from 72 cents to 99 cents. If you used any other platforms before, like Breakthrough Broker, etc., you're going to spend about $2 per postcard. That's why a lot of people don't do it. I go to the Tom Ferry Summits. I'm familiar with Belfini and all your realtor gurus. And these are things that we got to be doing. And even all that marketing material that you're ordering for your clients, you can have it shipped to their house. So that way you're showing that you're doing those activities to help them move their property, helping serve them, and let them know that, hey, I'm out here working for you. I'm trying to get this house sold, or I'm trying to help you find a home. Either way, right?
Yeah. And I love that so much. So I've got my QR code. Of course, y'all can always follow me on Instagram. If you're not getting those messages, we'll send that. So again, we're so glad you came. You pivoted today. That's what we're here for. We'll get everything kind of rocking and rolling. We'll let this download on the recording. We'll have to edit a couple of features. Once we get that edited and get that out, thank y'all for pivoting in that first, because I am told Jen I'm completely mortified. That's literally never happened to me. But hey, we pivoted, we changed, we got it. I don't know how I'll get it edited, but I'll get that done. So give me a little bit of time. It may take to this afternoon to get it all edited and done, but you'll have it. And then y'all have got my phone number. Call me if you need me. We're here for y'all. And I cannot wait to see what y'all implement from this class.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and put my email address here in the chat as well. So that way you guys can reach out to me And I'm gonna, of course, you're gonna be seeing emails come from me in regards to additional classes that are coming through, things like that. But guys, Google me, look at my reviews. I've got 5-star reviews. All the top clients that I've helped. I just did a broker open at a $1.6 million house this past weekend. I mean, I work with those luxury clients, and I work with you guys, the luxury clients as well. I'm here to help you guys out in your business, and let's grow together. Let's get it.
I love that. Well, y'all have an amazing day. Y'all get 12 minutes back and go have a great day, y'all.
Take care.
Bye.